Hey, so the Let Kids Be Kids desk today, we're really stoked to be talking to Liao, and we're going to be looking at the Beyond the Birds and the Bees app and just some of her thoughts about it. So do you want to just do a wee intro for everyone that hasn't seen your face before?
Sure. Talofa love, everybody. I'm Liao, tells Liao. I'm a community developer, and one of the roles that I've had is working with the children in schools around parenting and just running some programs there. So I have 3 boys of my own, so I'm very much clued up on. Well, I try to be as much clued up on what's happening in their lives as well as our kids at school.
Yeah, cool. It's getting harder and harder to stay up to date with everything that's happening, right?
Yeah, especially if they keep you distracted and busy.
Yeah, which we all are, right? So let's dive into it. We're going to have a quick look at Beyond the Birds and the Bees and what you have come across that you are a little bit concerned about and would just like to raise awareness of with parents out there.
Yeah, 100%. I am concerned, first of all, that it's an app available from 3 years old on Google. That's been my first concern, because I think the shocking thing is, our kids don't really show us what's on their phones. And it actually looks really quite innocent. So the app isn't something that you would go, oh my goodness, why have you got that on your phone? But then you start to dive into it and you realize, especially from a young age, you would expect as your children get older that they would be able to learn a little bit more, but from you as a parent.
Yeah.
Not from an app.
Yeah. And are kids coming across this, do you think that they're coming across this because they're being told about it in schools? Or are they just coming across it on? Okay, yeah, cool.
I don't think kids would be looking for birds and bees, just in general. I mean, they love gaming. This is sort of a mauve looking color with a bird and a bee. It's not really it's not that attractive unless you're actually told to look it up. And, a lot of things at school when it comes to sexual education, a lot of the kids are very whakama about it. And so they won't want to ask any questions in school.
Yeah.
So, of course, if you've got the app, you can look it up yourself, right?
So let's dive in. Tell me what you're concerned about.
I am concerned, especially around so this is targeted towards our 12-year-olds,
Right.
At 12 years old. I have 3 sons, and at 12 years old, one was more mature than the other. They all have different levels of maturity. We have, first of all, how to talk about sex, and then sexual techniques, masturbation, orgasms. This is from 12 years old.
But 3-year-olds can download it.
But 3-year-olds can download it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. So it's concerning to me because we've, especially looking up at the videos that they have with it, what's concerning to me is they are referring you, if you have any questions, to family planning and to the doctor, but not to your parents. So what is that saying? Are we actually removing the parent as an authority, or who knows your children? Who knows your children best, or who should know your children best?
Yeah, and this is the crux of it that I've seen through the Ministry of Education's guidelines, is that they're seeming to take the place of the parent. And the narrative that's out there that teachers seem to be believing, and university experts seem to be believing, is parents can't be left a chance to educate their children about sex. And I just laugh at that and go, well, if you've got kids, you know how to have sex. So actually what they're doing is disempowering. So this app, you're saying, is kind of taking it to the next level, where kids are in there without their parents knowing what they're seeing. And then the only place that they're saying, hey, go ask for more help, is family planning and the doctors, and nothing about, so there's nothing about parents in this app.
No, not that I've seen. The videos that I have watched have referred them to family planning, have referred them to doctors for a child, especially, to learn some of these things will actually cause a little bit of mental health issues.
Yeah.
Because they're not ready for it. And I feel it's going to cause more problems than not. Because what we learn at school, we practice, right? You in order to have homework, you have to do it over and over again. If they are wanting to implement sexual stuff into, most of the curriculum, you are going to find that the kids are going to act it out. And
there's kind of a no boundaries thing going on here, isn't there? Like it's kind of anything goes. There is no boundaries, and it's only going to lead to a dark place for these children and for the families. To me, it's a destruction of the family unit and the trust that parents and children have. If you've got kids seeing this stuff and then not thinking that, we know, we all have kids, we all know that the phones are an issue anyway. Phones are an issue anyway, where it's very hard for us to know what kids are doing on their phones. And now we're finding out that there are apps like this that are readily available for children, which, would you classify some of the stuff on there as porn?
Oh, totally. The issue that I find is that when I was a young girl, I completely and utterly loved my teachers. I looked up to them as authority. So if they are allowing me to go through this and look through these apps, I will listen to them.
Trust them. Yeah.
And then what it does too is it causes division with your parents, because when you start to hide things from your parents, it does get dark because you don't have anyone to tell. And when you hide things, you start to change because you're holding guilt, or you're holding something that you would normally go to your parents about. So is this kind of the next generation that we are wanting? No, we have to start pushing back against this and go, this is enough. We want to take back our children's innocence. How dare they,
How dare they? And I mean, I talk to parents about this all the time, and I just speak about it, and I show them some of the stuff that are in so Navigating the Journey resources, which is family planning. So this loops back to who this app is referring to. They're talking about things with 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds that adults wouldn't even talk about. So this is a problem, because it's not to say that the people who are not talking about it are really prudish. It's to say that this is inappropriate. This is inappropriate for a lot of adults. It's definitely inappropriate for children, and definitely inappropriate for children who are lower than the age for consent.
Penny, earlier this year in April, we had a 5-year-old boy assaulted by 2 older boys who were 7 and 8. And, so many services had to be called into this, sexual assault I'm talking about, not just beating up, And I'm thinking, like, this is where it's heading. You practice what is there, and if you've given it to it's like giving a child a Big Mac truck to drive, and saying, here's how you do it. Good luck. Yeah. Not only will he crash, you'll crash into everything around them, and so this is going to affect not just them, their future, the people around them, the people that they. There's so much more to this. So we need to put a handbrake on this.
Yeah.
And we have to be more aware as parents to what our children are learning.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, we lose not only the innocence of our next generation, but we will lose a lot more than that.
Yeah. And once you've lost the innocence of a child, it can never be regained. I think that's a huge thing. So what's your what would be some recommendations that you would give to parents?
I would strongly recommend parents to it's not going to take very long, but why don't you make an appointment with your teacher to just sit down and say, hey, these are some of our concerns around what we've heard from other schools. Could you please just let us know what has been taught? Please reassure us that the responsibility that we have stays with us.
Yeah.
It could be that you need to attend one of the board meetings. They are open to everybody. Mm-hmm. Maybe, because the thing is, I I see parents, giving their children to school and then just leaving it there. So everything, they come back from school. How was your day today? That was good. That's it. That's that's the contents of, it's really, really vital that you start to understand, especially at a very young age, what they're actually learning at school.
Yep. And then looking maybe for some tools to put parental controls onto their phones. But before that even is to have limits to time spent on phones, because we've lost control of all of that.
Yeah.
But actually it's up to the parents. Kids need boundaries. And
they thrive on boundaries.
Yeah, they need boundaries. We all need boundaries. And so having apps like this available is complete boundaryless behavior, right? It's kind of anything goes, student centered, which has been hijacked completely, or into children don't know what they don't know, and so you give them stuff, and they're very literal in the way that they think in their brains at that point, and so they're just not ready for this stuff. It's going to only cause harm.
I will. The mental health issues that will come from it is huge, and we haven't even tapped into it because this has been slowly slid into what our kids are learning. I think what's important to know is that, like we said before, once the innocence is gone, your child will start to behave. You'll start to see telltale signs of how they react, how angry they get really quickly, how guilty they feel, that they're going to isolate themselves. There's so many issues that come with this. So please, parents, please, this is really vital to actually act on right now. And like it will just take time.
Yeah, and like you talk about, just observe the warning signs of the changes of behavior. So I've walked that journey myself, and I didn't know what it was. And I can tell every parent right now, if your child is starting to suddenly experience behavior shifts and secrecy and very weird things, or addiction to their phones, not wanting their phones out of their hands, hiding them, stealing them, whatever, you need to concentrate on that. As a parent who tried and failed, I just want to say to all parents, don't brush it off. Don't put it in the too hard basket. Your children, it's a cry for help. Your child needs your help. So at whatever age. And so hey, thanks. We're gonna I'll put some links below into what we're talking about. And we're here available for this conversation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much, Leah. I really appreciate your time.
No problems. Thank you.